Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared12 here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Type 87 self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. The Type 87 is a Japanese air defense weapon built around the Oerlikon 35mm twin cannon system, as used on the Gepard self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. The system uses a modified Type 74 tank chassis. It is also nicknamed by field officers as the gun tank after the similar looking mecha in Mobile Suit Gundam series. As the JSDF began to seek a replacement for the M42 Duster self-propelled anti-aircraft guns provided by the United States, the Japanese Defense Agency began to issue requirements for the production of a local built self-propelled anti-aircraft gun unit to replace the M42. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries had eventually been awarded the contract to produce the vehicle to replace the old M42s. The vehicle was produced in 1987 and a few years kind of after that for a total of 52 built. They're currently still in service and are kind of like, I guess you can say, the main domestic vehicle of the Japanese Self-Defense Force. So overall, pretty cool design here. Again, I actually didn't, before reading that information, actually realize that it was actually the Gepard turret on top of it. So that's pretty cool, and I guess now we'll have to make a Gepard to go along with it. But really cool tank, and we don't have, again, too many anti-aircraft vehicles in our modern warfare section, so whenever we can get a new one thrown into the mix, it's always a good addition. And this here is a Japanese vehicle, which again we don't see too many tutorials for, so it's always nice to again visit Japan and their ground forces and stuff in our modern and Cold War section. Before we go ahead and jump into this build though, I do want to go ahead and give a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in basically supporting the channel more you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video description, where you can go and post a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request of your choosing per month for your patron. It really helps support the work I do on my channel, and I really do appreciate it, so definitely feel free to check that out and all that fun stuff. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at the Type 87. So, Type 87 here, as I mentioned, this does use the chassis for a Type 74 tank chassis. It is a bit modified. Seems it has a little bit of a thinner track layout and all that stuff. Again, not too 100% sure on the specifics for the modified chassis, except for maybe the tracks being a little bit laid out differently and the extended hole on the back here. So again, I don't know full specifics on it, but it is kind of based off of that chassis nonetheless. We have the vehicle here, or the turret here, which does house the two 35mm Oerlikon guns, and you have the kind of whole head system here, obviously ammo storage all in here, and then you have your radar systems and all that stuff, tracking and all that located up here in the back of the turret, so pretty cool stuff. Obviously radio antenna as well, and overall that's pretty much the vehicle. It's a pretty straightforward design, nothing really too crazy in terms of design, and again, we'll make a really cool addition to your Modern Warfare Japanese forces, especially after we just built the Type 10 not too long ago. With that though, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we'll be going ahead and starting off with layer number 1. For layer 1 to get started with here, we're going to place down a nether brick slab like so, and then a nether brick top slab coming off that slab going forward. We're going to go ahead and go behind from the slab with 2 polished blackstone stairs back to back, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the same thing a total of 5 times. So you're going to have 5 of these 2 sets of polished blackstone stairs back to back. So it should look just like this going all the way down. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and place down a nether brick upside down stair here. And then we're going to take our dark oak with top slabs and build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. And then we're going to place down a nether brick upside down stair on this side. Item frame here, and tripwire hooks in those item frames rotated face downwards. We're going to go ahead and then repeat the same track design just over here to this side. So again, same thing as the other side here. Nothing too fancy or anything like that. Then a nether brick slab, nether brick top slab, and then we're going to take our dark oak wood and we're going to place down a row of dark oak wood top slabs going across that section between those nether brick slabs. With that all complete, we're going to go and then take our dark oak wood top slabs and we're just going to go ahead and fill in the base here of the vehicle. So again, just fill this all in completely here to go ahead and create the base of it, and that'll pretty much bring us almost to the end here of this layer. So have it all filled in like so. Now, after that is all done and that's all filled in, the last thing we really have here is going to be to go ahead and make these banners. Now, these banners are really straightforward. I'm not going to show you guys how to make them in a loom per se, but I will kind of explain how to go ahead and go about making them. So they're really simple. To make them, you're going to go ahead and need basically a black or green banner. For my example, I'd recommend probably just using black banners. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a green line. I'm going to split the banner in half. So you're going to have two of your black banners. The one banner will have green on the right side, and the other banner will have green on the left side, split exactly in half. After you have that done, you're going to go ahead and take your black die, and you're going to do a black horizontal line that goes exactly through the center horizontally between, basically for both banners. And you'll take these banners here, and you're just going to go ahead and place them down on the sides of the stairs with the green portion facing toward each other, and this basically lays out our road wheel layout like so, and the same thing will be applied over here to the other side. So just like this to both sides, and once you have that all done there, that is everything there is for layer number 1 of the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Moving on to our next layer, we'll be going ahead and moving on to layer number 2. For layer 2 to get ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and place down a green shulker box on its side like so on top of this nether brick slab, and the same thing will be done over here on this side. We're going to go ahead and place down an item frame on both sides, and then a green terracotta block in the item frame. And then after that, we want to go ahead and then place down a dark oak button on the side here of the shulker boxes like so. After that's done, we're going to take our green stained glass panes, and we're just going to place down a row of green stained glass panes across the middle here like so. And then a row of 5 of green terracotta going across behind there as well. On the front here, we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor kind of closed on the side of the shulker box, and then an item frame on these glass panes like this, and then a tripwire hook rotated in those item frames rotated to face downwards like so. After we have that complete, we're going to go ahead and take our green terracotta, and we're just going to go ahead and basically build rows of 5 going all the way down the center here. So we already have our first, second, and third row. Then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and lastly 12 rows going across. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a green shulker box on both ends here. This will be followed with an item frame, a green stained glass pane, and a dark oak button. And we're going to go ahead and go over here and do the same thing: item frame, green stained glass pane, and a dark oak button like so. Now for the tracks here themselves, we're going to take our nether brick slabs, and we're going to go ahead and place down a row of nether brick slabs here that's going to go across. And I'm going to make one kind of quick adjustment here on the fly. I'm going to place down 1, 2 nether brick top slabs, and 1, 2. And then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of across there like so. So we're going to have this track actually dip down a little bit. And the reason for that is this picture I'm seeing here on kind of the side, it actually has a track kind of draping down a little bit. It doesn't have that roller wheel, so I'm going to go ahead and make that quick adjustment on the fly here. And on this nether brick top slab here and slab, just to kind of help with the angling here, I am going to go ahead and place down 2 dark oak signs there just to kind of help improve that overall look. So I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to go and do the same thing over here on the other side. So just like this, and like that. And we have basically that track layout there for the sides. So that's how that's going to look like that. Now on the very back here, we are going to go ahead and take our polished black stone stairs. We're going to place down an upside down stair that's going to come off the shulker box. So just like this, and same thing over here. After that, in the space in between, we want to take our mossy cobblestone walls, and we're just going to place down a row of 5 going across here. We're going to place down item frames on the mossy cobblestone walls and the upside down stair. In the item frames on the mossy cobblestone walls, we're going to place down green terracotta blocks. And if you are a Java player, we're going to place down a dark oak sign on the side here of those walls. So it's going to look like this here. Java is going to be the only version that you're able to place down signs and buttons in the item frames. I don't think I mentioned here on the sides when I did these item frames exactly, so I just want to go ahead and kind of reiterate that item frames can only be placed with signs and buttons on Java. If you're on a different version, you will have to find an alternative, such as just placing down the item frame really. Also, one quick change here is that we're not going to have green stained glass panes on these rear wheels. We will actually have cobwebs in those item frames. So just go ahead and make that quick adjustment there. I'm not sure why I put glass panes in there. Anyways, though, with that all cleared up, we're going to go ahead and then grab a red bed. And we're going to place down a red bed in the item frame, rotate it so that the pillow is facing toward the inside here, and over here on this side as well, like that. And then we're going to place down a dark oak sign on the sides here. or on the backs of the stairs. So it's going to look like that there. Anyways, after you have that all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 2 of the build. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we're going ahead and moving into layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and begin by taking our daylight detectors and placing down a row of 5 across the front here, and then a green carpet to both ends. If you are not on Java, I would recommend not placing down the green carpet, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. We're going to go then place down a dark oak wood slab on top of these nether brick slabs here, and then we're going to place down an item frame which will come off that dark oak wood slab. And then we'll place down a snowball in the item frames, like that for the headlights. Now, if you are on Java, you can place down the item frame and the carpet with no problem in the same block space. If you are not on Java, you will not be able to place down an item frame and carpet in the same block space, so you will have to either choose the carpet or the item frame, and most likely I would probably recommend the item frame for its detail it does add. So again, you'll have to pick and choose depending on the version. Then we're going to place down 2 dark oak wood stairs across the space here. We'll follow this up with another dark oak wood slab, then a second slab, and then a deep slate tile. We're going to go ahead and then place down 2 green carpets, or green terracotta blocks here. And then in this space, we're going to go ahead and place down a piston. I'm going to do this for Java. If you are not on Java and don't have access to a debug stick, I would recommend going ahead and using an end portal frame. It is a pretty good alternative to the piston, but I do like to look at the pistons a little bit better, so that is why I'm using them here in this situation. And we'll also place a dark oak wood sign on the side of that piston. We're going to go ahead and then place down 2 green terracotta, or we already have the 2 green terracotta blocks. We're going to place down 4 pistons over here to this side, or 4 end stone or end portal frames, whichever you chose. And then again, a dark oak wood sign on this side here. Then start on our right side, we're going to place down a green terracotta block, a deep slate tile, full block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green terracotta blocks over. We're going to place down a row of 7 of green terracotta across. This will be followed by a second row. Then we're going to do a third row. Then a fourth row, then 5, and it's going to bring us back to this point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 5 going back along from the front there. We then want to go ahead and place down a deep slate tile here in the center, followed by a green terracotta block to both sides, and another deep slate tile again to the sides there, and a green circle box coming off those blocks. We're going to go ahead and then take our deep slate tiles. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 tiles down the center here, and we're going to go ahead and then take our green green terracotta, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 rows going across the side here, and same thing will be done over here on this side. After that is all done, we then want to go ahead and take our green terracotta. We're going to place down a row of 7 that's going to go all the way across this rear section here, and then after that row of 7, we're going to place down one more row, again going all the way across. And one thing we're actually going to go ahead and do here is we are going to go ahead and swap out this block here for a stripped spruce wood log on its side. So it's going to look like that there. Then we want to grab our mossy cobblestone walls. We're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall here in the corners. Green terracotta block like this. And then we're going to take our oak wood trapdoors, place down 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 coming off those 3. And then we're going to go ahead and close those trapdoors so they're going to sit like that. And that right there is pretty much what we have going on there. We'll then take a spruce wood trapdoor on your third green terracotta block here. We're going to place down a spruce wood trapdoor. We're going to skip a space, place down 2 more trapdoors, skip another space, which will be followed with an item frame and a iron bar in the item frame. So just like this. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and go over here, do the same thing that we did on the other side. So just like that. And that right there is going to pretty much wrap up everything we have for layer 3, just making sure I'm not forgetting anything and everything does appear to be good to go. So yeah, that right there is it for layer number 3. And again, looking at it from up above, this is what it should look like from the top-down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and take our green terracotta. We're going to place down a row of 3 that's going to go across this space right here. Coming off this row of 3, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of pistons that we want to go ahead and make sure are upside down. And you may have to kind of get up in here and kind of break a block to kind of get yourself positioned a little bit more properly to actually place down the pistons. But you want the pistons facing downwards, and you want basically something like that. Now, an alternative here to this would be to go ahead and use dark oak wood stairs. I would recommend probably placing down a row of 3 of upside down stairs like this, going across instead as an alternative. Then for whichever version you do, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood sign on the side here of these pistons, and we'll have something that looks like this here. Now we're going to go ahead and take our dark oak wood top slabs, we're going to place down a row of 3 going forward. Then going to this section here, we're going to place down a green stained glass pane to both sides of that row of 3, as well as a row of 5 of green terracotta all the way across there. Then we're going to place down a row of 3 of green terracotta. This here will be followed with a dark oak wood stair on the sides here. So like this. And then we want to go and then place down another row of 3. Going across here, and then a dark oak wood top slab to both sides. After that, we're going to place down another row of 3 across, and then a second row of 3 like so. We'll then take our dark oak wood trapdoors, and we're just going to place them there in the corners, which is going to look something like that. And we'll take our wither skeleton skulls, and we're going to place down one coming off this block here, and one coming off that green stained glass pane. Same thing will be done over here on this side as well. After that is all done, we're also going to place down a zombie head here on both sides of these slabs, as well as on the right side, we're going to place down an item frame on this section here with a iron bar in the item frame, and we want to make sure that this is facing forward, and we're going to do the same thing over here. So just like that. And also on the left side here, we will place down a dark oak wood button on top of this green terracotta block there. Now, going ahead and continuing our way back, we're going to place down an item frame here on both sides, and we're going to place down an iron bar in the item frame. On the right side here, we are going to go ahead and place down a narrow brick slab, and that's the one on the right side only. And then going back from the deep slate tiles, we're going to place down 3 item frames, and we're going to go ahead and then take our black beds, and we're going to place them in the item frames like so. Then after that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2 item frames like this, and 1 and 2. We'll go ahead and grab some tools, so some shovels or some axes. We're going to place down our tools here in the item frames and rotate them so that they are facing toward the front of the vehicle. So like that. Then we're going to take our dark oak wood slabs, and we're going to place down 1, 2 here, and 1, 2 on this side. After that is complete, we're going to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater. That's going to go here. We're going to spread the notches apart from each other like so. A flower pot on the left side in this space right there, and then also a dark oak wood button that's going to go right here on that green terracotta block. So pretty simple stuff, and that right there is going to finish up what we have for layer number 4. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on up to our next layer, which will be layer number 5. Moving on to our next layer, we'll move on to layer number 5. For layer 5, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to take our mossy cobblestone walls, we're going to place down a row of 3 across the space here, and we're going to place down a second row of 3, third, and 4 rows, like that going back. On the sides here, we're going to place down 2 dark oak wood fence gates, and then we're going to take our end rods, and we're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4. End rods forward, we're going to place down our dark oak wood fence gate, and then a wither skeleton skull. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing over here, going on ahead and going off these fence gates, again with our end rods, and our fence gate, and our skeleton skull, or wither skeleton skull. So it's going to look like that there for the guns. After that is done there, we're going to take our green terracotta, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 5, going all the way across this section here. We're going to go ahead and then place down a second row of 5, and then a third row going all the way across. On the very sides here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 green stained glass panes, and same thing over here on this side as well. Across this backspace, we're going to place down a green shulker box in the center like so, green terracotta block to both sides. On the left side, we'll place down a dark oak wood fence gate, open it toward that green terracotta block, and then we're going to go ahead and then place down an iron bar that's going to kind of go up from the zombie head at an angle and kind of work its way back for our radio antennas that we'll kind of start expanding upon in the next few layers. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this layer. It's a really simple, straightforward one. One thing I do want to go ahead and mention now for Java players is going to be the use of the debug stick. To get this, we'll type in the command /give @p Minecraft, and then it'll be :debug _stick. So this command right here, pressing enter will give you this glowing stick. We can go ahead and go to these pistons. We can left click until we get the prompt selected extended false pop up. We'll then right click all the pistons like so to go ahead and get rid of that wood portion, and we'll do the same thing here for the pistons in that section. Once we have that done, I'm also going to go ahead and introduce you guys to another trick we can do here, and that's going to be the fence gates, which we'll left click, and we're going to go ahead and wait till we get the prompt selected in wall false. By right clicking it, it will actually put it in the center of the block space. So we can do this for basically all of our fence gates, and it kind of helps align them a little bit better. It makes the barrels look a lot better, at least in my opinion here for our 35mm guns. So again, that's kind of just my opinion on what I think looks good for that. And you obviously can leave them as they are. There really isn't too big of a difference, but I just think it looks a lot cleaner, using the debug stick like that on the sides. Anyways, though, that is going to wrap up everything I want to cover for the debug stick and everything that's like that. With that, we can go ahead and move on to layer number 6. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we want to go ahead and place down a row of daylight detectors, so 1, 2, 3 across the space here, and then we're going to go ahead and go behind it with a row of 3 of dark oak wood slabs. We're going to go ahead and then place down a smoker block here in the center, a mossy cobblestone wall on the right side here with a dark oak wood sign, and over on the other side we want to go ahead and place down a green shulker box just like this. We're also going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the sides here, or on this side of the shulker box as well. Now behind this section here, we do want to go ahead and grab some pistons, and we're going to place down a row of 3 of pistons across the space here. We'll place down an item frame on the side, and then a blank bed in the item frame rotated sideways, as well as a dark oak wood sign on the side there if you're on Java. Obviously, same thing will apply to the other side of the vehicle as well. Then after we have that done, we are going to go ahead and then place down a row of green terracotta going across. So this is going to be a row of 3, and then a second row of 3 like so. On the very sides here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood slab, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor going back from that slab. In this middle space here, we are going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood upside stair, as well as a green terracotta block to both sides. There will also be a dark oak wood fence gate on the left side here, again opened up toward that block there. And we're going to go ahead and then just place down another iron bar going up from these two like that to go ahead and continue those radio antenna up. Anyways, though, once we have that all complete, we can go ahead and then take our debug stick that we used in the previous layer, and we can go ahead and do the same thing here for the pistons to kind of recess them like so. Also, again, the alternative to the pistons can be end portal frames, like I mentioned down there. Anyways, though, that is going to do it for layer number 6, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our last final layers. Moving into our final layers here, we have layers 7 through 12. For these layers to get started with here, we're going to place down a daylight detector in this space here, and then a dark oak wood button to both sides, and then one more button going back. We're going to go ahead and place down a green terracotta block on top of this stair here, which will be followed with a dark oak wood top slab going forward from it, and then a dark oak wood stair to both sides of that green terracotta block. We'll then place down an item frame on the side of the stair and a green terracotta block in the item frame. And again, for my Java players, we'll go ahead and grab a dark oak wood sign, and we'll place it on the side here of the stairs as well, like that on both sides. We're going to go then place down a green terracotta block here, then a mossy cobblestone wall to both sides of this green terracotta block, and then a dark oak wood slab on the very top there. After we have that done, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate to the right side here, and a zombie head coming off the fence gate like that. Over on the other side, we're going to go ahead and grab a green shulker box. We're going to place it on its side like so. And continuing on, we're going to place down a dark oak wood upside down stair like this here, a stair on top of that. Then continuing on, we want to place down a zombie head like this, and then a mossy cobblestone wall going up, and then an upside down stair here on the very top. So just like that, with a dark oak wood trapdoor to both sides of that stair. Then we're going to place down a row of 3 of dark oak wood slabs across the top here of those blocks. And we'll also place down a row of 3 of temporary blocks in front of the stair and trapdoors. Coming off those blocks, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of zombie heads, which we'll go ahead and then delete those full blocks so it'll look like this here on the back. After we have that completed, we're also going to go ahead and take some dark oak wood trapdoors. We're going to place down a trapdoor here and here, coming off those stairs like so. And we'll then take our iron bars, and we're going to go ahead and kind of go up and back with our iron trapdoors like this, or with our iron bars. And we're going to go ahead and then go one more up. We're going to go ahead and again go back and up another row, iron bar on top of these, and then again up and back with an iron bar, and then one more on top. Same thing over here, just like that for your radio antennas. And after we have that all done, that's going to complete layers 7 through 12. And with that, that is going to wrap up my tutorial here for the Type 87 self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This will be the link from the build, tweet to my channel or this video if this does appear in your social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for your freezer for projects you guys are working on. Again, big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Foss Westbrook for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that, though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.